Welcome to another tech tip, and today I'm back in Canva and I actually just have a blank document that I've opened up. I'm going to talk to you today about some of the options that we have over here on the bar. So I talked about templates last week. I'm going to talk about elements, but I'm actually going to skip elements and talk about text. So I'm going to come over here and click on text, and I already have a specific brand set up for specific fonts. You might have a generic heading, subheading, and body font here. These are the ones for our school. So if I click on that, You Are Loved, which is the name of the school's font. So if the actual school name is spelled out, that's usually the font that it's in. And then our little font is what we type the words high school in if you look at our logo. And that's basically what our logo looks like. Now, I'm going to zoom in. We can zoom in right down here, okay? And you can see, well, I didn't finish spelling Doug, but you can also see our fonts, right? This is a really nice pairing because we have this, fancy display font, not too fancy, but it's a display font. And we have this nice, really simple sans serif for our Century Gothic. Nice pairing. If I wanted to do something for the kids, I'm not stuck with these fonts though. I can choose whatever font I want. So, I don't want font combinations. I want fonts. Oh, Lumos typewriter. I do like that one, by the way, because I'm nerdy. We can come up here. Oh, and here's the blood dripping font. This is one of Fitz's favorite fonts to use for Halloween. You may have noticed it in the the announcement for our Kahoot this month, the blood dripping font, right? I would probably use this for something like Edgar Allan. I can't spell today. Allan Poe. Right? That'd be what I would be teaching this time of year for sure. Maybe a little Stephen King thrown in, but we've got the creepy font. Love the creepy font. And I would probably pair that with something very similar to Century Gothic, but maybe since it's, old timey, I might go for, trying to get the right box. I might go for something a little bit more old-timey than our basic font. So let me go here, and I want a serif font. So serif is going to have your little feet, right? So serif to me looks a little bit more old-fashioned. Sans serif is a little bit more computery and modern. And, there's definitely whole classes you can take. I've taken typography classes. If you're into it, you understand. But then, I get a whole different look for how I combine that text. And there's lots of other stuff you can do with text too. So for example, you have a set amount of space here, right? So you want Telltale Heart to take up that space. I can just come up here and make it bigger, right? But I really want Edgar Allan Poe to be the biggest thing. So I don't want it to be bigger than Edgar Allan Poe. So what I can do is I can come here to advanced settings and increase my letter spacing and spread these letters out so that it is the same length, even though the size of the font hasn't gotten bigger. Does that make sense? So if I spread it out to the edges of the box, I can change where it's anchored in the top or the bottom. I can do all sorts of fun stuff with these fonts. And one thing I do want you to notice as we explore Canva more, you always have just a ton of options that are related to what you're working on. So I can change the font color, all of the basic stuff, but you can also do some really cool stuff like animated if you are doing a slideshow. You can also do really cool effects, change the shape of it, the classic making it arc around something can really make things look cool. So I hope you spend a little time, play around with fonts. It's a good time.